Hello and welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Tuesday, November 7th, 2017. Just want to read our disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks is a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice, not making any recommendations, always for your further homework. Good morning, Sue here with video number 275 in our Chart of the Day Cafe video series. If you're a regular viewer, then you know I always start these videos off with a look at the Russell Index. Why? Because I always want to make sure that before I add new names to my watch list, I'm adding them in a rising market environment. So I want to make sure that the overall market is moving higher. And I use the Russell as my proxy overall just to keep these videos short. If the Russell's moving higher, I'm good to add. If it is not, then I'm just holding tight or taking defensive action. So we use the IWM, the ETF that represents the Russell 2000 as our guide. And I always like to step back and take a look at it on the bigger time frame. So we're looking at the 5-year monthly. We've talked about this blue line down here being long-term support and resistance, which we're kind of ignoring for now. The orange line is medium. I had a purple line in here, but I've taken it away because it was cluttering my chart. We were up and over it, and so it was not serving any purpose. We're going to use this black diagonal line now as our short-term support resistance. So note, these are the monthly candles. The candle for the month of September, which we talked about, was bullish in orientation, big nice wide candle that brought price up and over our black diagonal line, which hadn't happened throughout the entire year. So these are monthly candles. You can see that that black line held price in the whole time. The candle for the month of October was a small candle, sort of looking for direction kind of candle. And here we are now for the month of November. So this is the area I'm going to zoom into right now, but I just wanted you to get that overall look and orientation of where we are now. So I'm going to move it away from the 5-year monthly to the 1-year weekly. And there's that same long-term light blue line of support resistance, the orange medium. And as you can see on the weekly chart, now these are weekly candles, price is up and over that blue 8-day EMA. We're over the the black diagonal line. We were trading in this bit of a wedge pattern that we drew in several weeks ago. Sorry about that. And I'm going to get rid of this green circle. Didn't mean for that to be there. So we're waiting for price to make a definitive move higher here. So although we are up and over the blue line on our weekly, it's too close to call on the daily. So there's the wedge. It looks like it wants to dance out of the wedge and move higher, but it hasn't made a move of enough authority, at least for me, up and over my blue 8-day EMA, to feel good about adding a new name to my watch list. So in today's video, I'm just going to review some old Chart of the Day Cafe names that, should the market improve today or tomorrow, might be worth a look. And just as a reminder, we use this, or I use this, blue line as my guide. I know everyone has their own way of doing things, but I like to use this blue line, which is the 8-day EMA, which is just a calculation of price, an average calculation of price over the last 8 days. You can Google EMA for a more precise definition, but that gives you an idea anyway. So here we are here, looking for a move up and over the blue. So we're going to not add a new name, but I'm going to go over several old names that might be interesting to look at in the days ahead. I'm going to quickly go over a handful of charts that we've been talking about lately, just to give you some idea. The first one is Royal Dutch Shell, RDS.B. I first featured it, did the full feature video on Royal Dutch Shell here in July. It's had a beautiful move since then. I reiterated it again. I reiterated it on October 19th and November 2nd. So October 19th and then November 2nd last week, I think we flagged it. Anyway, I just wanted you to see it's had a nice run since then. Also talked about NetEase recently, which had a nice day yesterday. All of these are past Chart of the Day Cafe featured charts. So Natisse was consolidating really nicely. We flagged it last week on the 24th here as one to keep an eye on. Volume came in and Natisse had a really nice day yesterday. The third one is Vail, which we've been talking about. It was my featured chart, I think back here on in May, I'm sorry, and then we reiterated it on October 26th. I drew this black diagonal line in here and this orange area of support. They were announcing earnings, so it sold off a little bit on earnings, but I like that it's back up and over our black trend line here, which I would offer as support going forward in combination with this orange line of support resistance. But Vail has had a nice move. And the one that I wanted to flag for you today, another past Chart of the Day Cafe pick. I will go back to show you where we put it forward. Let's go to the weekly. So green circle, it was somewhere in here in April of this year. I was thinking that it might lift from that area. It did not. It came in, price came in. That's why I love to use the blue as my guide. But it has since recovered in price, is up and over this area of support and resistance now. And again, we're looking at the weekly chart, but I'll switch it to the daily in a minute. This is one I would be keeping an eye on here. This is Pfizer. So worth noting, it consolidated here. It's up and over the orange line of support. Now I'm going to move it into the daily so you can better see. It came in, long wick, defended our orange area, and I wouldn't be too surprised in a strong market environment in the days ahead to see Pfizer move up and over our blue line. So I'll be keeping an eye on this one. The scores on Pfizer, I checked them this morning, are still really great. You know me at Chart of the Day Cafe. It is all about value and growth, primarily value. And Pfizer has a very nice high value score, a current forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 15%, a current dividend yield of 3.62%, and a PE of 13.33. So with that, I'll leave you. Keep an eye on Pfizer. And note, as we said in the beginning, that the Russell is deciding which way it wants to go. Being really careful here and using the blue line, at least for me, as my guide. Thanks very much for watching. Our next video goes out on Thursday.